Hey, Riley.
Hey, Timothy.
Do you remember when we first started this podcast and we had no idea how to get started or do anything with it?
Oh, you mean like how we're still kind of operating?
Almost.
Almost.
Except back then, we had no idea what podcast service to use or how to even step into the world of podcasting.
No, we did not. I knew nothing about starting a podcast.
Well, then let me just say how glad I am that we found Anchor.
Yes, it has so many wonderful things about it that have helped us break into the podcasting gig.
Amen.
The first little bit is that it is free. That was one of our biggest concerns. There is no money required to host a podcast on Anchor FM.
Right, you can get your name out there. And another great thing that they have are editing tools for you to use on your phone, on your PC. You don't have to go out and spend money on an editing software for you to edit your audio. In addition to those free editing tools, they have a whole library of different music and sound effects that you can choose to add to your podcast, all for free.
That's a lot of good free stuff.
It is.
Yes. Another great thing is that they distribute your podcast to a bunch of other podcast hosting sites. So things like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, you name it, they probably send your podcast there. So it makes it more accessible than ever to all the people that you want to reach.
And once you get on your feet in the podcasting world, they make it super easy to find sponsorships and get paid.
Yes. So if you are looking to start a podcast, break into the podcasting industry, go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Do it. You won't regret it.
You will not.
Hello and welcome back to Know Your Nonsense Podcast. I'm Timothy Holloway.
And I'm Riley Judd.
I know things about history, folklore, and food.
And I know about games, programming, design.
And neither of us know how scissors are made.
Nope. No idea.
Welcome to our breather episode today.
Yes,
just
a nice little
fun
breather.
Time.
Yes.
Game today.
Yes, we're doing a game today, another true-false game. So for those of you who may or may not be new, we have 10 questions apiece. All of them picked from our various categories, so 3 from each of them, and then a random 10th one that is worth double.
Right, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We should forego a prize this one, because we still haven't caught up with the prizes
true.
otherwise.
I still owe him a hot chocolate.
And I still owe him chicken nuggets.
Now let's just keep racking it up. It'll be a great day. So what's the prize today?
Right.
I vote a chocolate croissant.
Is this because you didn't get your chocolate croissant today?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So today...
I'm cool with that.
Yes, for all of those wondering, today I tried to go to Starbucks late at night and get myself a coffee and a chocolate croissant because that's the kind of life I live, and they were out of chocolate croissants. So I got a cheese Danish instead. It was still good, but it wasn't a chocolate croissant. So, chocolate croissant?
Does it have to be from Starbucks?
No.
Okay, cool.
So
I've been wanting to try and make croissants, so this could be fun.
Yes. They are very good. So...
All right.
That's the prize?
That's the prize.
Alrighty, then.
We should start keeping a tally.
Yes, so take it away. Question 1, Timothy. What is the category?
All right. Well, the category is food.
All right, a food question.
Marmalade.
Marmalade.
Is typically made out of specifically tangerine oranges. True or false?
True.
False.
No.
It's an orange called Seville oranges. They have a very short period of time where they're actually able to be gotten. Like their growing season is super short, like January to February.
Now that's some nonsense.
I know. Personally, I want to try and make marmalade out of blood oranges. I feel like that could be really good.
I thought, like, in the debate of jellies, jams, marmalades, isn't, like, it have more to do with the manufacture, like, the way it's made? Like,
I'm actually not quite sure about that. I was having this discussion with somebody earlier, but, all I know is that marmalade is different from jams and jellies.
It is. One is mostly fruit. One is like fruit and juice. I used to know the answer to this because...
Well, marmalade also has peel, so that might be the deciding
I think that
factor.
might be it, actually.
Okay.
So...
But yeah, Seville oranges.
I'll allow your Seville oranges, I suppose.
Allow it? What are you talking about?
I think it was a nonsense question, but that's okay.
Well, I mean, that is the show.
That is our whole bit. All right, so 0-0 advantage, Timothy. So your first question is going to be a game question.
All right, bring it.
The iconic Untitled Goose Game.
Oh, no.
developed by House, was picked up immediately for its iconic and novel concept. They immediately recognized the genius behind playing as a goose, and they were off to the races.
No, nobody would pick it up, and they were forced to develop it independently.
Your logic is very wrong, but...
But I was right?
You were right, yes, it's false.
Yes!
They were the developers, so they are independent developers. It did not matter what people thought. It was going to be developed independently.
That makes sense.
Yes, but it was pitched at a meeting after they finished their previous project. They were talking about what they could be working on next, bouncing around their real ideas, and one of the members of the team said, let's just make a game about this, and threw up a stock photo of a goose. And people, they tossed it around a little bit because geese are very iconic characters. They just perpetually look kind of angry and
they're
just
evil.
blank expressions. And
Cobra chicken.
Yeah, Cobra chicken?
I heard it in a post somewhere, but I could not agree more.
Yeah, that's a statement. But they tossed it around, and eventually we're like, okay, that's our joke game is the goose. And as they continued, and some of their ideas were just not panning out, they just kept looking back at the goose game and thought, we might have to. And so they started developing a little bit, and they wanted to get up something. Once they decided, they landed on it, and they wanted to announce it. They wanted to get up a website, just something, a splash page, just something to tell them that this game was coming. And so they were going to put Goose Game, but they're like, we don't want people to think that's the name.
Right.
So they put Untitled Goose Game. So people knew that was a working title.
Right.
But everybody loved that so much that they ended up just keeping it as Untitled Goose Game.
What I'm hearing is this is the epitome of your procrastination project.
No, incorrect. No, it was literally... Okay, it was a time crunch to get out what they needed to for the announcement. So they didn't procrastinate it. It was just a lot. But then people resonated with that title so much. They just resonated with the concept so much. It's one of those moments where you strike gold, not intending to at all, but then you just leave it because you found what worked, so don't try to mess with it.
All right, then. Fair enough. Yikes. Okay.
Nope. All right, so now it is 1-0, Timothy.
Yes. All right, Riley, so your next question.
Yes, hit me.
We're going to go with a folklore question.
Oh boy, folklore.
The national animal of Scotland is a unicorn. True or false?
True.
Dang it, yes, it's true. I was wondering if I had talked to you about that one before.
You had not, but that's one of those statements that even if I was wrong, you just want it to be true.
Right, that's fair. It is something you want to be true because it's amazing.
That's amazing. Go Scotland.
Yes. I love you guys. But yeah, okay, well, now we're tied.
Yes, but it is 1-1 advantage, Timothy. So, Timothy, your next one will be code.
Oh, dear.
My Doom. The worst computer virus outbreak in history. Caused an estimated damage of $38 billion.
Oh, my word.
Which is $52.2 billion after inflation nowadays. And its creator is currently serving life in prison.
I don't think that's what it was called. So false.
You're correct, but it was called My Doom.
Oh, really?
It was, yes.
Oh. Well, okay. What's false about it then? I have no idea. Did they never catch him?
They never caught the guy who made it.
Holy crap.
And he had a fat bounty on his head, too.
I believe it.
I want to say it was $250,000.
That's so bad, but it's kind of exciting.
He's never been found. Now, My Doom has... It's much better nowadays. My Doom still exists. So My Doom, it's a worm. It's an email worm. So it gets in through your email, and then...
It's one of those things where, like, you get the email, you click on the attachment. Uh-oh, the attachment is this virus.
I think so. But I just know it comes through email. That's what worm is. I didn't read too much into it. Sorry.
That's fine.
But at one point, it was responsible. It was... The My Doom, crisis happened in 2004. And at one point, it was responsible for 25% of all emails worldwide sent. A fourth of the planet's emails was this one computer virus.
Wow.
Yes, isn't that wild?
That is so much.
Yeah, nowadays, because it is still around. It's not a problem like that anymore, but it is there. It's now responsible for about 1%, which is still, that's quite a few emails, but it's much less of a threat. They've gotten much more of a handle on it than when it happened. But yes, it is the worst computer virus outbreak in history, damage-wise.
Okay, then. Wow, that is unbelievable.
Yes. So that is 2-1, Timothy.
All right, here's your chance to catch up.
Yes.
Your question is for history.
Oh, boy.
The Babylonians
Yes.
invented ice cream and refrigeration.
True.
True. You're right.
Yes.
You're right. Did I already talk to you about that one before?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
I simply answer
don't remember
with
what I've said to you.
unbridled confidence.
Fair enough. That's a good... Okay, people. That is a good tip to have. If you don't know the answer,
Just
answer with confidence. Answer with so much confidence, it makes the people testing you
wonder if
look
they
at
got
their
it
notes.
right. Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, oh, wait. You said 2 + 2 is rubber ducky? I gotta make sure
No,
that was really
Is that
convincing.
right? But I also had an inkling because ancient societies, they were pretty
They
good
were
at
a
what they
lot
did.
farther ahead than anybody really thought until
Yeah.
we learned it. But yeah, ice cream was a not popular, but a lavish, I guess you would say, a lavish treat for Babylonian royalty. And they had these giant domes that were refrigeration. And yeah, it was super cool.
All right, Babylon, I see you.
Yeah.
All right, 2-2, advantage Timothy. So your next one is going to be design.
All right.
So, 2001: A Space Odyssey is widely considered by the film industry to be the greatest film ever made.
No, Citizen Kane.
Dang it! You're right!
Yes!
Look at
I actually
you!
knew this one.
Yes. Citizen Kane is considered to be the greatest film ever made.
Which I still have never seen. I know you have.
I'm
right?
going to out myself. I didn't care for it.
It's fair.
Now, to me, it falls in the same boat as 2001's A Space Odyssey because that is actively my least favorite movie of all time. I'm so sorry, film fans, but they both fall in the same boat that they did iconic things in terms of film making, the cinematography, the set designs, all of that kind of stuff was revolutionary. But as actual movies, as cinematic experiences, they were just so lackluster. Citizen Kane, I felt, was not dull per se, but I didn't care about Kane. I didn't care about Mr. Kane, so I didn't care much about finding the answer to what Rosebud was because I didn't care about him because he was a horrible person. Gotcha. At least for most of the movie, he was a horrible person.
That's always annoying.
Yes, and then 2001's A Space Odyssey is just the pretentious art of the film industry, and it's very boring, and it's one of those what just happened movies, which I guess you can take, it's up to interpretation, it can be whatever you want to be. I came to be entertained, and I was not entertained. So
fair enough.
Didn't care for it, but you got it right, so it's still 3-2 Timothy.
All right, well, your next question. I'll give you an option here. Would you rather have me start over the order, start with a food one again, or would you rather take a history or folklore first?
Let's just start the order over again.
All right.
I like food.
So, mayonnaise, the popular condiment,
yes,
is made by whisking whipped butter while streaming in oil.
False.
You're right.
Yes!
It is actually made by... Do you want to guess?
It's egg-based, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is by streaming oil into egg whites that you're whipping.
Okay.
Whisking, whipping, whatever the word is.
I knew that because I'm a huge fan of Japanese mayonnaise, which I I know it's sweeter, first off. It has more sugar in it. And second, I think they use less oil, so it's more egg-based.
Yes, I forgot exactly what the difference is.
I don't know. I just know you can make Japanese mayonnaise out of normal mayonnaise by adding sugar and rice vinegar.
Interesting.
Yes, I've done that multiple times if I've been making some of my favorite Japanese cuisines and I've been out of Japanese mayonnaise.
And it holds up pretty well?
Yeah, it's fine.
Sweet.
It's because you're adding liquid to your mayonnaise, it's a little runnier than you would want it to be.
Well, yeah, but Japanese mayonnaise is thinner than regular mayonnaise anyway.
Not really.
No?
No. I mean,
Whoa.
you think it's a little runnier because of the different packaging. Because Japanese mayonnaise
That's
comes in a
fair.
squeeze bottle, while mayonnaise, I mean, we can get mayonnaise in squeeze bottles too, but usually it's
more
the
often
jar.
comes in a jar.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Well, good job. You
thank
got that one.
Yes, 3-3. Still advantage, Timothy. I got to trip you up here. Shall I restart the cycle?
Yep, go for it.
Alrighty. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
Good game.
Yes, great game. The map was actually designed based on the city of Tokyo, Japan.
True.
False!
Oh, no.
It is based on...
Your unbridled confidence failed me.
It did. It's based on Kyoto, Japan. Which,
Really?
Yes, that is the home of Nintendo, as well as the director of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Hidemaru Fujibayashi. So, in an interview, he mentioned how when developing the map, he started with just Link on a blank field, just a giant open space, and he thought about his home city of Kyoto and how long it would take him to get from one location to another, and based the different landmarks of Breath of the Wild off of that kind of distance and time.
Interesting.
Yes, I thought that was so cool, because that's something that just baffles me. So Breath of the Wild, it's a big open world, and so you have to really take into account how long it takes to get from one area to the other. Now, obviously, you will implement things like fast travel, so it will happen instantaneously. But when you are just exploring, just running, how long does it take you to get from one important location to the next? So that was very interesting.
Okay, gotcha.
So it is back
That is super
even.
interesting.
Yes, back to a perfect tie.
All right, well, here's your chance.
Yes.
Next up is folklore, right?
Yes,
okay.
folklore.
All right, I gotta see if I can trip you up. I will say it's kind of hard to think of folklore questions because they're so tightly knit with history. So, like, I'm sorry if some of them seem kind of...
It's okay.
Yeah, but here we go.
I'm ready.
Here we go. The city of Troy,
Ah, Troy.
yes, was not actually Greek, but a Hittite city that was destroyed at the end of the Bronze Age.
False.
True.
Dang it. I thought it
was-
wasn't going to be Hittite.
No, I figured you would go for that.
Ooh,
Okay.
Dang it.
But yeah, it was the city of Wailusa in the Hittite culture.
Okay.
Located in like the northwestern edge of Turkey. So, yeah, really interesting.
So what I'm hearing is just less and less about the Greek story of just Troy and the Trojans.
Well, I mean, they were still fighting the Greeks, and the Greeks still were fighting them.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So, yeah, but it's still Greek, but also Hittite.
And also Egyptian. Wasn't Cleopatra? Not Cleopatra. Helena Troy. Wasn't she Egyptian?
I didn't look into the story that deep. This was something
Oh, well.
different side of the story.
I might be completely off. I'm so sorry if
It's
I am.
fine.
Alrighty. Back to Advantage Timothy. Alright, on to code.
Okay, let's do it.
Alrighty. The programming language, Arnold C, is an interpreted programming language based on one-liners from Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
I'm gonna go with false because it's a compiler language, thus Arnold C.
You are wrong, sir.
Dang it.
Yes, no, it is indeed an interpreted language.
What is it based off of?
Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. That's literally it. All
Wait, yeah,
of
I
the
just said it was
command,
false. That would mean it's true.
all of the command codes in it are based on Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes.
That's amazing.
Yes, please look it up. It's one of those joke programming languages. There are quite a few of those, but this one is particularly popular. I think because it's quite functional. You can code some good stuff with Arnold C if you really wanted to.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
I love that way too much, honestly. Okay.
yes. So back to Tide. No advantage.
Yes. Okay. History question.
Okay.
I gotta figure out something good for you.
I'm ready.
All right. Alexander the Great
Okay.
founded 25 cities. He named all of them Alexandria except for one, which he named after his horse.
True.
Dang it.
Yes!
There
was a lot of variables in there that I was
Yes.
really scared of. I was like, it could not be 25 cities. There could not have been one city. It could not have been named after his horse.
I believe it was 25. It was either 25 or 25 or 24. Either way,
Close
all
enough.
of them are named Alexandria except
Except
for
for
one,
one.
which was named after his horse, Bucephalus.
Incredible.
I know. He straight up had a 3-day funeral for the thing when it died.
Oh my.
He loved his horse, man. Alexander the Great was truly great.
Indeed.
Yeah. But really though, he was a great leader, great tactician, also greatly arrogant, but that's not the
It's
point.
fine.
Actually, it's a lot of the point. It was his arrogance that made a lot of people follow him. The man straight up claimed to be descendant from both Achilles and Hercules, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And then proceeded to find out where Achilles' armor was, apparently,
Okay.
and went and stole it
Oh.
and wore it into battle.
Oh, okay.
And the fact that he wasn't struck down by the gods themselves just kind of
Resonated with
amplified
people, I
his-
see.
this mythologic being of Achilles, of Alexander, and they were just like, yeah, okay.
Alrighty.
Then there's the whole Gordian knot story, which is just a whole...
Ooh. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll
One
get there
day.
someday. But Alexander the Great, really dope. And his father, Philip, also really dope. Probably one of the greatest men that Europe ever produced.
Indeed.
But yeah,
Alrighty.
you got that one right.
I
well
did.
done.
So it's
Advantage
3
Riley.
for me. Alrighty then. Now we are on to design.
All right.
So, monospaced fonts are fonts that have an identical amount of space in between each of the letters.
True.
False!
Oh no. I was sure I learned that. Oh no.
Okay. It's close. And that's usually the misconceived notion because a lot of monospaced fonts do have an even
Right.
space, but that's not what they mean when they say monospaced font. A monospaced font is a font in which each letter takes up the same amount of horizontal space.
I knew that.
So,
Oh no.
you have skinny letters like take the letter I or the letter R. They are going to be stretched or warped in weird ways to make sure that they are taking up the same amount of space. Now, however, this is also not entirely true, but we're going to count it because if you have a bad designed monospace font, technically speaking, each graphic file or representation of the character that's put into the fancy stuff that makes it into a font, those images need to be the same size. Not necessarily the characters inside them. If you have a monospaced font that messes with stuff like that, it's not really a monospaced font. It's probably poorly designed and you probably don't want it. So, hot tips, folks.
I should have known that.
Oh,
Okay, I'm taking typography this semester. It'll be fine. I'll learn that
good
again.
luck.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Typography is something else.
I'm excited. It'll be great.
Alrighty.
All right. So you are back to food, yes?
Yes. Final food question.
Bologna
Oh,
is
Bologna.
really popular in the state of Hawaii.
True.
It's not.
Oh no.
That's a false.
Oh no. Was there more to this?
Yes.
Oh.
I was going to say bologna is really popular in Hawaii due to how much was left after World War II when the GIs were stationed there. It's not.
Oh.
It's Spam.
Ah.
Specifically Spam brand. They would give the GIs like 15,000 cans to be dispersed every day.
That's impressive.
It was a lot of Spam, and there was a lot left over, and so the Hawaiians were like, we're going to eat it.
Wait. So are you telling me that they spammed them with Spam?
I hate that you just said that.
Wow.
In a way.
I think that's my favorite fact so far.
But it has been very popular there ever since.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Hawaii, I see you out there.
I'm sorry that you didn't let the question get out.
I'm so sorry. Well, I would have gotten it wrong anyway.
It's okay.
Alrighty.
All right. I have a chance to catch up now.
Yes. So, a game question.
All right.
The iconic indie character Shovel Knight is the first indie game character to get its own Nintendo amiibo.
Shovel Knight. Okay. I'm gonna go with false. It was not.
You are wrong, sir.
Oh no!
You fool! It
Falling
is
for one of those classic blunders.
Yes, yes, you have. So yes, Shovel Knight is the first indie character.
Knight. Have I seen Shovel Knight?
Probably not.
Okay.
So there's a lot to unpack here. So first, just to make sure we're all on the same page, an indie game character, that is a character from an independently developed game. So small budget, not produced by a big studio. Don't think Nintendo, don't think Microsoft. Now, they ended up on those kind of systems, but they were not developed by them, if that makes any sense. So Shovel Knight is a homage to classic side-scrolling games.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, and they wanted a knight character, if I remember reading correctly, that would have a downward attack. So, sword down attacking on people.
Okay.
But they thought about it, and that didn't really make any sense with a sword. So, why not give him a shovel? And so, Shovel Knight was born. It honestly has a very interesting development history. I will probably one day do a Riles reviews over it. It might even make it into a full episode. But it was the first Nintendo amiibo built for an indie character. So, amiibos are these little figurines that could be scanned into the Wii U or the 3DS, I believe, and now the Switch.
Right, you buy them, and then once you scan them, you get like special premium content and stuff like that, right?
Yes, it depends on the game, and so I believe in Shovel Knight you got a special fairy if you scanned the amiibo. I don't quite remember. I just bought Shovel Knight. I have not played it all the way through yet, so I'm not sure. But yes, it is the first Nintendo amiibo for an indie character.
Interesting. And I just looked him up. Yeah, he looks familiar. I've seen that dude before.
Yeah.
Sad day.
It's one of those indie games that just instantly was a cult classic. It has multiple DLCs for some of the other knights in the game, such as, let me see if I can remember, Plague Knight, Spectre Knight, and King Knight.
Okay.
So, it's gotten a lot of support. It's a good game, but more on that later in a Riles review, possibly.
Of course, yeah.
Yes. So,
all right. Well, you're pulling ahead a little bit.
I am indeed.
Or you have a chance to, I should say.
Yes, I mean, if you trip me up, you'll have your chance.
Okay, that was food. Let's see. This is
folklore.
Folklore. All right. It was often believed that ancient Chinese dynasties were only to succeed if they were blessed with what was called Mandate of Heaven, which was essentially the blessing of their god, Heaven.
False.
True.
Dang it! I thought it wasn't going to be a god named Heaven or something.
No, it might be goddess technically.
Okay.
I forget exactly which it is.
That's fine.
But essentially the blessing from their god.
Okay.
From their deity.
Boo.
But yeah, there were a lot of emperors who oh yes, they were blessed with the Mandate of Heaven, and then as soon as they started treating the people badly, and we're talking early dynasties. This is turn of the millennium. Yeah. As soon as they started treating people badly, things started going poorly, of course, because the people were dying.
Indeed. It's generally a problem.
Yeah, and then there was a rebellion, and people were like, you lost the Mandate of Heaven.
Oh,
Good
no.
job.
Your gold star was taken away.
Exactly.
Oh, tragic.
Yeah. So, tragic for them. Ended up being good for the people in many cases, though, so yeah. It worked out.
Alrighty.
Yeah. That's my
Boo.
chance to catch up.
It's his chance. All right, so now we are on to programming. I love this.
Oh dear.
I really... You can watch an ASCII version of Star Wars Episode 4 in any command prompt or terminal on any computer.
I cannot believe that this is a thing and I haven't heard about it with how much I love Star Wars, so false. I'm going with false. It's not Star Wars at the least.
No, it's completely true.
Oh my word.
Please, I don't have them written down, but if you're on PC, it's 2 simple lines that you have of command prompt that you have to type. On Mac or Linux, 1 line. And you can watch Star Wars Episode 4 in an ASCII animation.
I really wanted to do this when we're done here.
It's incredible.
Oh my word. Oh my word.
Please look it up.
That's
look
wild.
Up more of it.
That is absolutely wild.
It's incredible. It's amazing. I love ASCII art, and ASCII animation is even more impressive to me. And the fact that they took Star Wars Episode 4 and just remade it.
And this is just sitting latent in our computers, waiting to be accessed.
I don't know if it's latent in the computer. I believe you might have to be connected to the internet. I'm not entirely sure how the process works.
That's amazing.
But yeah, 2 lines. Open up your command prompt or a terminal on PC, 2 lines.
You're going to have to show me how to do that.
I will.
I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
I know, isn't it incredible?
That is so incredible.
Oh, I don't remember how I learned about it. I think it was just... It might have been a TikTok. I don't know. I don't remember. I just remember having this knowledge, and I looked it up to confirm it, and yes, it exists.
Okay.
And it is tested. I did test it in my command prompt. It is a real thing.
That is amazing. Okay. Well, good job coming up with that one. That's amazing.
Yes.
History question. Here you go. Ancient Egyptians created the curling iron.
True.
Dang it! How do you know that one?
See, you're tricking me by you need to trick me by saying something like they invented something, but don't make it true because I have overabundant amount of faith in ancient cultures.
That's true.
That's
we
how you're
literally
gonna
just
get me.
went through
we
this.
literally did.
But yeah, ancient Egyptians, they were using the curling iron. They made cosmetics. You name it, they made it. Honestly,
I was gonna say they were really into fashion, so that's also very believable.
Yeah.
Alrighty, pulling ahead. All right,
All right.
Timothy. On to design. Snail scroll in game design is a term used when the background image of a 2D game moves at a different speed than the elements in the foreground, creating a sense of depth and scale.
True.
False.
Dang.
It is not snail scroll. That is stupid. I made that up and I hated it.
Well, it kind of made sense.
It does.
Though.
No, the official term is parallax.
That sounds like a laxative. What the heck?
I actually talked about parallax in my senior computer science seminar when I talked about isometric game design, because parallax is a very important feat that helped push 2D games forward and in the direction of isometric games. It is one of the... If you want to take a 2D game to the next level, it is one of the best and easiest things that you can do. Because literally, you're just taking your background image, which is usually big. It covers the whole screen, the whole level.
Yeah.
And as your character moves through the game, your camera is going to scroll and keep your character, if not center, at least close to the center. But when you start scrolling your camera, you just have your background image not scroll at the same speed. So you have a special line of code that causes it to move so it appears to be moving slower.
Gotcha.
So it's a very cool effect. Look up some good parallax examples. I'm fairly certain that Shovel Knight, actually, that game,
Really?
it will use parallaxing. Hollow Knight, one of my favorite 2D platformer games, uses parallaxing. It's a very common, very popular effect.
Doesn't Cuphead on occasion?
I think
the only
so.
recent 2D animation game I've played, honestly, so...
I'd have to go back and check, because in Cuphead, most of the levels are just boss fights.
True.
In which case, your screen does not move. You are locked into a single space. But there are some plain levels where there is a scrolling background, and there are some shoot 'em up levels which are reach the end levels. So you are scrolling there. So it probably employs parallaxing. I would not be surprised.
Well, they should call it snail scroll.
No, they should not. That's a terrible term.
It'd be amazing.
Alrighty. You gotta trip me up here.
I have to. No, I'm not even sure I can win.
You can tie it, because we're on the last question, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, are we doing the 2 points for the last question?
Yes, indeed.
All
so
right.
if I get this wrong and you get yours right, we will tie.
We will tie. And what would we do if we tie? Nobody gets the croissant, or both of us get the croissant?
Let's do both. Let's just keep
How about
racking
this?
up debts.
If we tie, you help me make the croissants homemade.
Okay, I can accept that.
All right. I hope we tie now.
But you have to make sure I get this wrong.
Yeah, I do.
To even consider this a possibility.
Okay. Here we go.
Here we go.
Emperor Darius of the Medes and Persians was buried in one of the 7 ancient wonders of the world, Halicarnassus Mausoleum.
False.
Dang it.
Yes!
Yes, that's false. The mausoleum was long gone by the time Darius died, I believe. But even more so, Darius's monument, while he was actually extremely revered and extremely successful as an emperor, it's a very small monument. It's just little stone structure, and it literally says, "I am Darius. Do not judge me by the size of my monument."
Oh.
That's all it says, and it's this little house-looking thing, and it's still around. You can go see it, and I think Iran is where it is now.
Incredible.
But, yeah. But that means...
That was complete luck, too. I understood approximately 0 of that question. Like, Darius, mausoleum, wonders of the world. Even though... This is horrible. I don't know what the 7 wonders of the world are.
Oh, dude.
I do not. Isn't the Taj Mahal one of them?
No.
Oh.
Well, I mean, maybe one of the modern wonders of the world. But
okay.
The 7 wonders of the ancient world and the wonders of the modern world, they're different.
Oh.
So,
I definitely didn't know that.
I know the ancient ones. The modern stuff, that's still around. But the ancient ones, the only one that's still around is the Great Pyramid.
Oh.
That's it.
Is Stonehenge not one of them?
No.
Oh.
Okay, real quick. 7 wonders of the ancient world.
Wait, do you want to tell me or do you want to save these? This is material.
This is awesome.
Okay.
This is okay for me to tell you, because I love these things.
I was going to say, this is stuff I don't know. You could be having questions.
I know. Maybe I'll bring it up and then rub it in your face if you get it wrong.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, Great Pyramid of Khufu.
Okay.
It's the only one that's still around.
Okay.
Then there was the lighthouse at Alexandria.
Yes.
Giant technological wonder destroyed in the Crusades.
Yes.
Halicarnassus Mausoleum. Beautiful giant structure lined with statues. Eventually was plundered when the empire was in fell, which I think was the Greeks.
Okay.
The Hanging Gardens of Babylon.
Yes.
Which actually were gone long before the rest of them were, cataloged as the 7 ancient wonders.
Yes.
The Temple of Zeus at Olympia.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to be amazingly beautiful. The Temple to Artemis at Ephesus.
Okay.
Also supposed to be amazingly beautiful. And how many was that? Pyramid, Mausoleum, Gardens, Artemis, Zeus. Was that all I said?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The Colossus of Rhodes.
Okay.
Which was supposedly this giant statue that literally was straddling supposedly the causeway into the harbor.
That's exciting.
I know, right? The thing literally only stood for 70 years, I want to say, before it fell in an earthquake.
How did we get from 2 to 70?
The 2 was actually not a 2. It was just me making a noise while I thought.
Oh,
it
okay.
happens. You should know.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, wait, that's it, because I forgot to mention the lighthouse over here. So yeah, 7 wonders of the ancient world.
Okay, cool.
They are absolutely astounding to me, just because, well, when you look back on it, they had all these things already. And the lighthouse, nobody knew how to fix it. Mm-hmm. If they knew how to fix it, it was built supposedly so solidly, it could still be standing today.
Alrighty.
Or it could have, but Crusades.
Yeah.
And Caesar and a lot of things.
A lot of things. A lot of history.
A lot of history there.
Okay.
It's fine.
Some of those I had heard of.
Yeah.
I just hadn't the connection was not there.
There's actually not plans, but an idea to rebuild the Colossus of Rhodes. Just as tall, if not a bit taller, with a restaurant up in his crown.
Considering it fell in an earthquake, I would never go in that restaurant.
I believe you.
Ever.
I would be one of the first people up if possible.
I would never.
I would love that. Granted, I'm also the guy who wants to sail on the second Titanic. Yeah. Let's go, man.
I don't know.
History.
I don't know. Okay. Well,
I can't win. Give me the question anyway, though. I want to try.
I will indeed. It's another game question.
All right.
Doki Doki Literature Club.
You would.
Very popular indie game. Doki Doki Literature Club.
I've heard.
Yes, indeed. I've wanted him to play it for so long. So Doki Doki Literature Club, despite its wide success and millions of downloads, only received one major IGN award, which caused public outrage.
False.
It is false.
I got one right.
Yes, that puts the score at 5-7. So it won plenty of awards. So Doki Doki Literature Club is a visual novel in which you are, for those of you who are unfamiliar with how visual novels work, you join a club usually or something. You have a accolade of characters that you will potentially end up dating, and in this case it is a literature club, and you write poetry and you learn about these characters through poetry, and it's an incredible game.
It's just a dating simulator, right?
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
So though with visual novels it's a lot less game based, if that makes any sense. So if you are looking to just, get a nice story from a video game, these are the games for you. That's what they are built around. They are built around characters, narrative, and usually some sort of something else. Some cool mechanic. The main mechanic in this game is, as I said, writing poetry.
Okay.
So to gain the affection of any of the members in the club, you write poetry based on words with their interest. And you're not actually writing poetry, you're literally just selecting words, and that's your poetry writing. But that
makes sense.
Yes, it is an incredible game. I highly suggest, if you want to look it up. It is free, though please do note it is... this is a bit of a disclaimer, and it's given on the game, and I want everybody to know it instead of skipping over it, because a lot of people have. This game is not for the faint at heart. I believe it's actually rated M. So,
what?
Not for any... I really can't say more. You just have to know nothing about this game, but just know it is not a kid's game.
You want me to play this?
Yes!
I mean, I'm not a child, of course,
you
but
are not.
What?
It's a great game. I can't say anymore. I have to stop here.
Okay.
But it's a great game. And back to it, it won lots of awards. So in IGN's 2017, Best of 2017 awards, it won 4 People's Choice Awards. It won the award for Most Innovative, Best Story, Best PC Game, and Best Adventure Game.
Okay.
Yes, it has...
Well, good for them.
Yes. And as I said, this game... Well, okay, it's free, but you can also choose an option where you do pay for it. He wanted to make it free and wanted to make it accessible to people. And it is another cult classic, just instant classic of a game. And if I had to pick one of these awards, which I would choose as its most important award, is the most innovative. Some of the gameplay in the game is, to put it mildly, revolutionary. Just, there are very few games that delve into the kind of mechanics that it chose to play with. It is a very, very good game.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm still not going to promise to play it at all.
Play it.
We will see what happens as far as that goes. But otherwise, good job. You win this round.
I did. So now the tally. You owe me...
I owe you a 12-count nugget from Chick-fil-A,
Yes.
and a chocolate croissant.
Yes, and I owe you a hot chocolate.
Yes. We will update you all on our Instagram or on social medias, wherever.
Whenever that finally happens.
Exactly. Yes.
So,
But good job.
Meantime, yes, that is the breather episode.
And be sure to check in next week for our off-brand episode, and check back to our last episode for the clue about that episode, the hint.
The last episode was our binary episode, so go give it a listen if you want to hear the hint for what the off-brand episode is.
Exactly.
And make sure you check us out on all of our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, all of the good stuff. It's all KYN Podcast. Very easy to find.
Exactly. Be sure to send us an email if you want at kynpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, indeed. And check out our Patreon if you wish to support us, where we have special perks, including extra episodes from both of us, Ryle's Reviews and Tim's Tales.
And if that's not your thing, check out our merch store on Teespring for some exclusive KYN merchandise.
Yes, indeed. And that about wraps us up, I believe.
Yeah. I'm really going to have to think of some different questions for you.
You really are. We're really going to have to work on your question coming up ability.
Hey, it's fine. I will figure something out, and when I do,
Oh, will you?
you will fall.
Oh,